This is your turn number 2, part A. So your turn number 2 directions are solve the system of equations algebraically using elimination. You will have to multiply one of the equations by -1 to be able to add to eliminate. Circle or box your final answer. All right, so let's start with that first one. So we have 6x minus 3y equals 6 and 6x plus 8y equals 16. So notice if I add these right now, watch what happens when I add them right now as is. 6x plus 6x is 12x. Negative 3y plus 8y is positive 5y. And then 6 plus a negative 16 is negative 10. That didn't eliminate any variable, so that was useless. I'm not going to do that. So we have to try a different approach here. So this is where I said that you're going to have to multiply by -1. So we want one of these to be negative 6x. It doesn't matter which one, but one of them needs to be that. So in order to do that, we need to multiply either the first or the second equation by -1. So let's go ahead and number them. So let's go ahead, let's multiply, how about the first equation by -1. So I'm going to put parentheses around that top equation and put -1 there, because remember, I can't just multiply the 6x by -1. I have to multiply everything in both sides by -1, otherwise it's not equal anymore. So I have to distribute the -1 to the 6x and the minus 3y. And I have to multiply the other side by -1 as well. And instead of writing just -1, I'm going to write times -1 there. So let's write that new equation number 1. So this is going to come down here, and it becomes negative 6x because we're taking -1 times positive 6x, and now we need to multiply -1 by -3y, so that becomes positive 3y or plus 3y equals, on the right side, we have 6 times -1, which is -6. Okay, this is new equation number 1 right here. This is equation number 1 edited, okay, because we multiplied each term by -1. This becomes -6x, positive 3y, and -6 here. So now we're going to add the two equations together because now something will eliminate. So I'm adding equations 1 and 2, but equation number 1 was edited a little bit. We rewrote it so that it had a -6x instead of a positive 6x. So now we have elimination. Again, it's nice and lined up here. So we're going to add left side to left side, right side to right side. So 6x minus 6x, that zeroes out. It eliminates, which is exactly what we wanted. And now it's 8y plus 3y. So notice when I tried to add them before, when it didn't eliminate, we had -3y plus 8y and we got 5y. So be careful because it wasn't going to end up being 5y since we had to multiply by the -1. So this is a different number here than we had before. Equals, same thing over here because it was originally a 6. So when I added them and nothing happened the first time, it was -10, but now it's -16 plus a -6 or -16 minus 6, which is -22. All right, so now something eliminated, so now I can continue to solve. So easy to solve from here, just divide by 11. So y is equal to -2, box that up. And then the rest is just the same as we've been doing this whole time. So pick one of the equations, either 1 or 2, not adjusted number 1. We have to pick one of the original equations because if we made a mistake from multiplying equation number 1 by -1 here, we would never catch it unless we used original equations to find the second variable and to check. So we need to use one of the originals. So I'll go ahead and show just using equation 1 then. So 6 times my x, which I don't know, minus 3 times my y, which we just found, is -2, equals 6. So this is an equation number 1. We have to find this product first. Let's go ahead and treat this as a -3. So I'm going to change that to adding a -3. So -3 times -2 is positive 6. So I'm adding a positive 6 equals 6. All right, now we have a really nice equation we can finish solving. We're going to subtract 6 from both sides, and that becomes 0 here on the right side. Oh man, but we have to write the 0. Remember, we have to write the 0 since there's literally nothing else on the right side. So this is another case where anytime you have a variable times a number equals 0, then the variable has to equal 0. Because when we divide by 6, 0 divided by anything is 0, unless you're doing 0 divided by 0, which is undefined. So x is equal to 0. So, when x equals 0, what's this thing called? The y-intercept. So both of these lines have a y-intercept of -2, so that's where they intersect. So now we have to check it. We're going to check it into the second equation since we solved using the first equation. So check, and equation number 2, 6 times my x, which we just found to be 0, plus 8 times my y, which we just found to be -2. Is that really equal to -16? Well, 6 times 0 is 0, plus 8 times -2 is -16. And yes, 0 plus -16 is -16. So that is correct. And then we need to write our final answer here as a coordinate point. So that will be 0, -2. And again, I'll just do it in solution sets here. And that's it for your turn number 2, part A.